Will the second revival plan proposed by the Terra founder Do Kwon work to actually save the Terra ecosystem? In this video, we're going to break down the governance proposal and all the steps and the requirements needed to actually make this revival plan happen. Make sure to watch until the end because we're gonna break down the proposal step by step, and also I'm gonna give you my overview on what could potentially happen with this move. All right, let's go ahead and get started. So if you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe, hit the notification bell so you can be notified about these time-sensitive videos, and also smash that like button so it will help the algorithm reach more people and we'll have more people watching these videos. All right, I created this Google Doc because I wanted for you to have a outline and timeline of all the proposed action for this revival plan. All right, so there's a lot of mixed feeling in the Terra Luna community. A lot of people have lost a lot of money, and if you were one of those, I just wanted to say that it was a very unfortunate event. In my opinion, I still do believe that it was an intentional attack, and what happened is very tragic per se because it literally put the crypto space into a very bad light, and I believe that the purpose of that attack was to actually make crypto look bad and have people lose trust into this new vehicle and into this new investment vehicle. Okay, so that's my personal opinion. I would like to know your thoughts in the comments below about this. All right, let's go ahead and let's break down all the steps. So first of all, the main objective of the proposal is the fork of the Terra chain into a new chain without the algorithmic stablecoin. Okay, that will serve two things, right? Number one, we'll remove the pressure from the ecosystem by having this algorithmic stablecoin integrated into the blockchain. And secondly, we'll avoid any future exploding of the ecosystem by malicious intent and malicious attacks. Okay, so that definitely can help the ecosystem overall. Okay, however, there's a lot of mixed feelings in the community because a lot of people would like to have the actual Luna token burned, because at the moment the supply it's enormously high. It's about 6.5 trillion tokens that are in circulation, and it is extremely diluted. A lot of people that are actually calling, hey, why you're forking this? We actually want the token to be burned and we can build from the ashes of what happened. Okay, but I believe that it's a very complex step to actually do that and burn all that supply and re-level the algorithm. So they are trying to propose this to actually start from scratch. Okay, in the proposal, the old chain will be called Terra Classic. Okay, and the token will be Luna Classic with the ticker of LUNC, and the new chain will be called Terra with the token Luna and with the ticker Luna. Okay, then the second step of the proposal is to have the Luna airdropped across the Luna Classic stakers, Luna Classic hodlers, and residual UST hodlers, and also the essential app developers of the Terra Classic. Because before the entire crash, there were a lot of projects that were building on the Terra blockchain. Okay, and all those projects right now, they're in the midst of a chaotic event because all their work pretty much is gone to waste. The entire ecosystem has been brought to the ground. Okay, so they also trying to incentivize the previous developers to actually continue their work into the new fork, okay? So the third point of the proposal is to have the Terra Foundation wallet to be removed from the airdrop and making a community-owned chain, okay? So basically the Terraform Labs does not want ownership of the ecosystem, so therefore they will not receive any airdrop, okay? The fourth point of the proposal is to allocate a large portion of the token distribution to, number one, provide an emergency runway for existing Terra dApp developers, okay? So as I was mentioning earlier, they're trying to keep the developers, keep the projects into the ecosystem from dying. And by doing so, they will airdrop those tokens so they can have funds to actually keep developing and keep the ecosystem growing. Number two is to align the interest of the devs with the long-term success of the ecosystem, right? So they are trying to incentivize the developers to actually remain into the ecosystem and not to abandon projects, okay? Which I believe it's a very important thing to do, because those dApps, those new projects, they were developing into the Terra ecosystem. They were also the backbone of the entire Terra community, and this is definitely something that they had to keep in mind, because having those projects building underneath the Terra ecosystem, that's where the actual ecosystem also gains its value. All right. So the other point of the proposal is to increase the network security to be incentivized with token inflation and target staking rewards at 7% per annum. Okay. So the next point is the Essential App Developer Program. So what they are trying to do is to keep the vital components of an ecosystem like DEX, the developers of the wallets and launchpads, all together, so that the ecosystem can keep growing even with the upcoming fork, okay? And this is how they will try to allocate the new Terra token, okay? So number one, there's gonna be an emergency allocation, which is gonna be 1% of the total supply immediately after the network launch to provide a runway while they build out products, and also commit to returning funds if product has not been launched within 1 year. Then it's going to be an alignment allocation, which is going to be the 4% of the total supply to be vested to the dev teams that ship products and show traction. Allocation will be determined by the governance and a different rule set debated by the community. And again, this is the point of actually giving to those projects in order to have them stay in the ecosystem and keep building the name, keep building the brand, and having all those projects work together for the benefit of the entire community, okay? So also in the proposal, there was a mention of the token distribution, okay? They will be 1 billion Luna tokens, okay? And they will be divided into certain percentages, and those will serve different purposes. All right, so 25% will go to the community pool and is gonna be controlled by the state governance. 1% as to the essential developers emergency allocation with no lockup period. 4% essential developers with 1 year cliff and 4-year vesting thereafter, granted the actual traction of the project, okay? And if you don't know what vesting means, it means that the tokens will be distributed over a certain period of time, okay? So at 35% will be allocated to all bonded, unbonded Luna minus the Terraform Labs at the pre-attack snapshot, okay? So what they will do is that they will assess how many tokens they were in the wallet before the attack, okay? And they will distribute and airdrop those new Luna tokens to the hodlers of the Luna token pre-attack, okay? So, and that will be as follows. For the wallets with less than 1 million Luna, it will be 1 year cliff and 2 year vesting thereafter. And for wallet with over 1 million Luna, it will be 1 year cliff and 4 year vesting thereafter, okay? So this in certain way will help people to cover the losses, okay? But in my opinion, something should be done more in terms of like actually compensating the hodlers of Luna, because a lot of people have lost a tremendous amount of money in this event, okay? And I personally believe that this is, yes, is something, but there is a lot of uncertainty in how this can go. Because let's face it, the main problem right now is that the entire community and the entire crypto space has lost a lot of trust in the Terraform Labs and in the Terra team, okay? There's a lot of things that are cooking underneath that a lot of people don't like, and it's not cool what happened. We don't know exactly what's their full responsibility in terms of like, could they have prevented the attack? Could have actually made the system more robust to prevent this type of attacks? Were they naive about the situation? And I've seen interviews about the founder, Do Kwon, and there were some instances where that guy was very cocky, let's be honest, okay? Yes, he might have created a big ecosystem with a blockchain valuated at $20 billion, but at the same time, there were certain behaviors about his persona that were not fully aligned with a true leader of a $20 billion company, you know? That's my personal opinion. I would love to hear your thoughts about him, and let me know also in the comments below. All right, next, 10% to Luna hodlers. Staking derivatives include at the launch snapshot, and 10% will be unlocked at Genesis and 90% vested over 2 years, okay? So basically, if you are a Luna hodlers, okay, and once they will do the launch and they will do a snapshot of the wallets that actually have Luna, you will be entitled to a 10% at Genesis and 90% over 2 years. And then 25% to the UST hodlers at the launch snapshot. So 10% will be unlocked at Genesis and the rest vested over 2 years, which can actually raise some concerns, because there were people that were actually have sold at a loss. I know people that have sold around 50, 60 cents. Who is gonna cover that 40% loss, right? It's very likely it's gonna be money that these people will never recoup, because if they sold, once they will do the snapshot, there won't be any UST in the wallet, and therefore they will not be entitled to that. And this is what they're trying to do here. Is basically a sort of like compensation for the people that have suffered this entire absolute disaster, okay? So the good thing though is that the main validators, okay, of the Terra ecosystem, they're actually supporting the upcoming fork. And this is good news for the actual realization of this fork, because if you don't have the actual support of the validators, then it's going to be very difficult to rebuild the ecosystem, okay? And as you can see on Twitter, Do Kwon, it really retweeted all the support from the validators that had in the last couple of days, right? BTC Secure, Sigma, Terra Bay, Nebula protocol, and all different validators that have supported the Terra ecosystem until now. Okay, so let's quickly talk about the timeline. Okay, the governance proposal was released actually yesterday, and then there on the 21st there's going to be the Terra core release. Network launch instruction will be made available for the validators. On the 25th there's going to be the essential app developer registration completed. On 5/27 there will be the Genesis file created from the final launch snapshot, and the same day there should be the network launch. Okay, so today is Tuesday, May 17th. All right, theoretically in 10 days they will have a brand new network launched. Okay, so I personally don't know like all the step-by-step process of actually do something like that, but in my mind, in my opinion, it seems a lot of work and a lot of coding and a lot of like coordinations between validators and all that kind of stuff. I will be very, very impressed if they will be able to remain on the timeline. And also I believe that it's gonna be, this proposal will also be voted by the governance, and if there will be any obstruction, this proposal might not pass. And that will certainly delay the timeline and the actual launch of the new network. So let's quickly take a look at the Luna price action and see how the market responded to this proposal, okay? So the proposal came out yesterday. I think it was around 10:30 in the morning, okay? And immediately after that, he had a positive response actually, and the Luna token had actually a 100% gain in a couple of hours. And then since then, it's been consolidating in this area of 0.0018 and 0.02. So there was an initial positive response to the proposal, but right now it's still consolidating in this area. Okay, so in my opinion, the future of the entire ecosystem is very uncertain. There's a lot of things that they will need to be sorted out before the entire ecosystem can be revived as it was. And it will be very difficult to bring Luna to the actual glorious time and momentum that it had before the crash. Right? Let's be honest. Yes, there could be a fork. Yes, there could be all this implementation, but at the same time, the main factor of a crypto project, which is the community, is lacking at the moment. Okay, their trust is gone. And once you don't have that, it's going to be challenging to actually have the ecosystem and the project growing. Okay, so let me know in the comments below, what are you thinking about this proposal and what are your thoughts moving forward for the Terra ecosystem. If you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe, hit the notification bell so you can be notified about these time sensitive videos, and I'll see you in the next.